Hello, everybody! Welcome to another episode of 10 Forward Weekly. My name is Mike Fatum. I am your community manager, also known as Ambassador Kel. Let's go around the circle and introduce ourselves. We'll start by going up from my position to Nick. You want to introduce yourself, or you want to just wave awkwardly and stare at the camera? Oh, we can't hear you anymore.
Oh, I'm Nick. Hi.
Cool. Do you want to tell us what you do, Nick?
I make rocks and crates. I'm an environment artist. I make levels mostly, but now I designed a ship for some reason.
Yeah, that sounds right. From Nick, let's go to Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy, also known as Bordicus, sometimes on the webs. I didn't do anything in support of this ship, but I'm here to talk about the design nonetheless.
And to Jeremy's right is Hector.
What's up? So I'm Hector Ortiz, concept artist, and in this time I was in charge of making a miracle.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Yeah.
What do you know?
And to the right of Hector is half of Thomas.
Let's see. How are we doing? Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi. I'm Thomas Maroney. I'm the lead ship artist for STO, and I actually modeled the ship and made the material for it.
Nice. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the features for the ship. Angel Beat Flight wants you to know, Nick, that your diva hat rocks. I haven't played Overwatch with you guys in forever. I gotta log in one night.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody from our group is playing anymore, really.
Oh, really? No, that's too bad. But yeah, tell us a little bit about the genesis of the ship. Was we were looking for a fun thing to do for a couple of streams, and we know people really love watching art streams, and so we got together a group of people, all of whom were not ship artists, because ship artists were disqualified from being part of the contest, and except for Nick, none of whom were actually artists, to create an idea for for what a Risian science ship might end up looking like. Nick was the winning design by fan vote. Nick, what was your thought process behind this ship when you first started 3D kit bashing it together that fateful night before the quarantine began all those months ago?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
It's surprised that it needs to be a boat. It should look like it goes fast. I think we were looking at hydrofoils and like real racing boats, and I don't remember what else. Hector and Thomas really salvaged the design, in my opinion. I think that they did some really cool stuff
deceptions.
With it. I think what I made was okay, but I think that they did some really cool stuff to it, so I'm excited to see it.
I mean, one of the things that you'll notice about pretty much everyone who works on our game, but Nick is a special example. Nick and Jesse would probably be the two biggest examples of this, is that they will downplay everything they've ever done, no matter how good it is. And in this particular case, I actually think the reason it won is because you made such a solid design underneath it. Obviously, yes, Hector worked his magic, and Tobias and Thomas worked their magic to make it the really cool ship we see here in the concept art. But
we didn't outsource this.
Oh, I thought you said accident. Oh, that was you?
This is just Thomas.
Just Thomas, my bad. But I think you had a really good design, and I think you should be proud of that. So, neener.
Thank you.
At one stage, early in the voting process, didn't players actually get to see the original Nick Doogie
They
concept
did, well,
art?
because we drew them all on stream, so they saw it that way, but they also...
all right.
Before the voting, Hector did do an early pass on all the ships, but we put them up with their original, in Nick's case, 3D art, and in the rest of our cases, pencil scratchings.
I mean, you say 3D art, doing 3D like that in an hour, it's still pencil scratching. Like, it's just a different type of pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I had somebody try to participate with that VR paint program.
Oh, that would have been super cool.
Oh,
I totally would have done that if I could have, but I don't know how.
It would have been nice.
Brian WGCom, we are aware of the Dilithium bug for the current event, and we're looking into a fix right now. It should go live tomorrow morning. I believe the fix has already been confirmed by QA. And ready to go. So that should be fixed. Lord Megatron TF, yes, we are going to release the Legendary Bundle again on Xbox. I assume you mean the Federation Legendary Bundle, not the Romulan one, which you still have. All right. Cool. So blah blah blah. Hector, once Nick had finished what I thought was a cool design and he thought was chicken scratch, what was your process towards making it into the gloriousness we see here?
What Nick gave me was really good. It was really solid because the main idea was there. It's kind of this boat, speedboat, and it brought memories of different kind of things I have as a reference for this. What was the name of those boats like?
The Chris Craft ones.
Yeah,
that
something like. Really
I really like those elements that you brought in with the wood decking and that kind of stuff from those.
I saw a bunch of these really expensive boats that they have on Venice. If you're Venice and you're really rich, you have one of those boats. They have like this beautiful polished wood on top. I was like, okay, maybe we can include some of that, and it just fits the proportions a little bit, so it looks more streamlined and it goes according to the STO more or less guidelines, if you will. And
yeah, it does look based from Nick's design to this. It did look a little bit like you put it in that one of those will it crush things.
Yeah,
and he stretched it out. I think stretching it out lengthwise really helped out too.
Yeah, I tried to keep it as much as possible as Nick's version, but it had to be stretched a little bit because we have these two. How do you call those things? I still don't know how you call those things. The
Hydrofoils?
The hydrofoils, if you will. We had to space them a little bit more because otherwise the ship was gonna look like a little piggy, you know. So we had to spread them and give them some kind of use.
Nice.
So I think we come to a nice compromise that actually works. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Nice. So I'm laughing because I'm watching Thomas attempt to refocus his web camera, which you can't
I
focus web
know.
cameras. Hey, you did it! Somebody was saying he's Terran Empire Thomas, which of course Terran Empire Mirror Universe Thomas would be somebody who really likes ground vehicles and I think Star Wars. Oh, sorry, I'm getting an important question here.
When was the last time you gave her medicine?
Sorry guys, one sec. I believe it was at before lunch, I think.
So ships are cool, guys. Right?
Right.
I have a question, actually, since we're at kind of a stopping point. Nick, did you design the underside, or was that something that had to be come up with by?
I mean, I did it in 3D, so I had an underside, and there was kind of a keel to it. I think that what the concept and what Thomas came up with the keel that they did with the rudder included and that kind of thing is a lot more streamlined and looks a lot better than what I had. I just kind of mirrored some parts together until it made kind of a boat hull underneath more than a keel. But
I thought
it was
I remembered
there.
a keel on your design though. I thought
it is. It's just not as sharp or pointy or I don't know.
It was weighted towards it looked like a traditional boat hull, and then Hector moved it back to give it like a rudder type feeling, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so we've looked at this. I want to go look at the ship in the game and talk about that a little bit, and we can all kind of react to how cool it looks. But before we do that, I am going to bring up this week's fan art. We got a couple of things sent in, and I want to make sure we all look at them. This is from Alistair Morden, who sent us. This is his attempt at making the Lower Decks uniforms in Star Trek Online. I think that's
pretty
really
close.
Cool. Yeah, there's some stuff you can't do, obviously, the little zigzag thing. But the rest of these were all from Mark Hawkman, so I'll just point out what they are as he sends them in. But this is the Jem'Hadar. I think it's Jem'Hadar veteran ship. Looking dope.
That looks like the.
No, that's a dreadnought.
Okay. This is the Baul ship flying through with some other event freebie ships, I think. I think those are all event freebie ships, aren't they? Maybe? No, there's some Cardassian ships here.
There's the promo ships in there.
Yeah. So, it's a cool fleet. I'd fly with that fleet.
Yeah.
Just a collection of cool-looking people.
Yeah. And then we've got the Red Angel suit looking boss as heck on, I want to say that's the Dyson Sphere? Looks like the Dyson
Yeah,
Sphere.
that looks like
Dyson Ground. Yeah. I should just have a ship artist and an environment artist on every single stream.
To confirm.
So they can also whatever. I'm like, what's that from?
This is still one of my favorite places to just log in and hang out.
Yeah, it
play
seems
around.
to be a lot of people really love it. And this is a Romulan ship, but I don't know which one.
It's the
One.
T6 Dale or whatever.
Dale?
DAEL.
Yeah.
DHAEL
Oh,
probably.
DH. Yeah, you're right.
Because
Hathos
I
is
liked
the new T6 version.
DAEL. All right. Well, let's pop over to the gameplay screen here, and I'll lose
Oh, yeah.
Nick. All right. Let's see what
We
I
didn't
can
need
do
Nick.
here to make this
That's the
work.
first one for me.
Okay, I'm gonna put you guys up here.
This is the
gonna be
first time
weird.
you're seeing it,
Yeah.
Hector?
It is
Like that, yeah.
The trails?
so pretty.
Yeah.
I should have done this before the stream.
Hector, I showed it to you. like.
Not animated, buddy. It
All
didn't
right.
move.
Well, there we go.
Look at
I
that.
did it.
Look at that.
Perfect.
All right, let's
Yes.
fly over to the
Brady
thing and
bunch.
get a better out on it. Look at
I
that
like how,
shit.
Oh god.
I like how Thomas's camera glitch has allowed you to actually shut down.
Nice.
If this is the Brady Bunch, does that mean Mike's our dad?
Yes.
Wait, you're in the middle.
Yes.
But
I
how-
thought
Yeah.
you thought I went out to get cigarettes and never came back, but I've been here the whole time, son. Yes. So this ship is really pretty. Thomas,
Yep.
talk to us about how pretty this pretty ship is. With prettiness.
It's pretty, I'd say. So obviously people in chat are noticing all the cool electrophysics particles and stuff. That effect was made by Ian Richards, who is kind of half ship artist, half effects artist.
We have
and,
hybrids now.
I
We've
asked
learned
him
to clone.
Yeah, in Hector's concept, he actually had some cool particles coming off of those sails. So I asked Ian to see what he come up with, and he put that together. And I think it adds a lot of great personality and energy to the ship.
What was
Totally.
the word you used for it the other day? The water dapple effect. You had a name for
caustics.
it.
Caustics.
Caustics. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
That's the texture underneath though is the caustics, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then there's the effects that are kind of covered up.
there are caustic textures on the actual the surface of that
Oh,
foil
yeah,
that
I
you
can
kind of
see
see. And then the actual like energy emitted from that is inspired by caustics, but not quite. It's more like smoky.
That's really cool.
And that's what Ian put together. Yeah.
That's really
Yeah, those
really
are
cool.
those turned out really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks really cool on the ground map too. Like traditionally, we put the ship in the sky, like offshore, and we did that this time too. And it looks cool down there too,
All right.
in
So
the sunlight.
from the process of concept to actual model, Thomas, did any major changes to this lovely lady have to be made, or did she end up pretty much where she's at?
I did my best to kind of follow the Hector's concept as I was working, and it's nice because Hector actually creates 3D models for the concept process, and that way we can spin the model around in 3D and iterate it on there. So in some cases, I was able to just build right on top of that Hector's geometry. So it's it's pretty close to what he did. I think he had originally imagined a bit more animation going on in the glowy domes, but I wasn't able to. I didn't have time to make that happen. I think he described it as almost like a 50s flying saucer kind of
Yeah.
swirling.
It still has a little bit
light.
of that vibe. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that was I'm kind of glad my piece didn't get picked then, because I know that was kind of the whole thing of mine. Was there's like 3 domes with weird stuff happening in it.
Yeah, that would have been a challenge. I mean, we probably would have been able to figure out how to do it, but ultimately, I'm pleased with how it turned out. I did make a new material for it. This is a new material right now. It's only available on this ship, but it's got the larger paint section. It's got a new pattern, so you can tint it in a specific way. Basically, if we get into a more well lit area, I can kind of show, or go into the ship tailor, I can show you.
All right. Well, let me do that. I went to Risian because it was thematically appropriate, but do you just want Takara like usual, or is there a better one?
If you can do the test,
I
don't know if we can go to that test.
Not on
ship
this. If I was on a local shard, I could, but not on transporter.
Yeah, Takara's fine.
Oh,
Oh, there's a bug.
we found one.
I'm not sure. Spoilers about some. I don't know if any of that summer stuff has been
It
announced.
hasn't
but-
really, but I mean that's okay. I'll
Surprise,
it's gone.
Ryza.
It's gone.
Look
People
up
are.
there.
Yeah, I'll just do this really quick.
Yeah.
It's not quite as bad as when
It's
I.
too late. There's a screenshot. It exists.
Yeah, it's too late. I always forget about that.
But
Doug Idaho says Rise of Vanity Shield when isn't that? Oh, you mean not the team shields that we did last year, but like an actual.
I mean,
Rise of
I think
sim.
the actual hull material for Ryzen ships isn't really that fancy. What's cool about it is the patterns and the fact that
crazy
you can
colors.
sort of tint it whatever color you want. But we
Yeah.
can't do that through a Vanity Shield, right? So there's not really much of a point. But we do have, we have a new. I'll go ahead and spoil it. We have a new team coming to Ryza this year, a new baseball team, and a new Vanity Shield for them. So I'm excited about you all seeing more info about that soon.
And some of the people in chat have noticed my favorite thing from this year's summer event, which basically was something Ian messaged me and said, "Would the fans think this was funny?" And I said, "If you don't do that, I'm quitting."
Yeah, there's some really cool. There's a couple cool new items that are I think people really appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got the caustics on the hydrofoils, and like I said, a new paint job, new material that we can look at in the tailor, and we can show like how you can tint it and everything.
Those big panels in the front cutout, are those intended to be windows or deflector panels?
What are you talking about?
These guys.
The big, yeah.
I assumed it was some sort of fancy energy thing. There's a new crazy deflector that Hector came up with. That with all the little.
All right. The lighting's not great in here because it's not a space dock, but
Yeah.
I will.
The thing is that that thing at the front was supposed to have many small windows, but I did a test, and it looked really bad. It was too crowded.
Mhm.
But I really like the shape anyway, so I left the shape without the windows.
No, I think the coloring on it, like having that bright spot around the deflector is really cool because you can, like this, you can see it from the side.
Yeah.
It makes it more obvious which direction it goes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just my own headcanon is that those are giant windows at dissertation ops. But the ship has
Yep.
an
The ship,
enormous forward.
Station ops.
the ship runs on
Station
dolphins. Listen,
Yeah.
Jeremy, it's literally.
It sounds like you're literally throwing dolphins into the engine.
We should get Jet to add a cetacean ops echolocation console to something. maybe if we ever actually do an April Fool's in-game event kind of thing. All right.
What
We get
pattern
audio
did you-
to give us a bunch
Oh,
of
it wouldn't
dolphin
let me do it
clicks.
because we're not on. Okay, so you can see what some of that looked like, but I can't actually put it on the ship and see it in space from here. But that's okay. Thomas, what other lovely details about this ship do you want to talk about or ask Hector about?
So one of the things that was really interesting about Hector's concept was there were areas that kind of had like a wood paneling kind of feel.
Yeah,
We
like this
mentioned
right
that
here.
early on. So I went ahead and added that to the ship, and I actually really like it. It's another really distinct thing about this material.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
if you
not.
ever made this a vanity shield, will we get wood paneling on our ships?
Yeah, I guess.
Make it a vanity shield now, Thomas. Cancel all your other work. Vanity shield.
Just put it out there that there is a Fakiri vanity shield that offers you some wood
Yeah,
and iron
That's true.
That's true.
appearances. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you move the camera around a little bit, you might be able to get some nice spec on the wood. And it kind of made me think. There we go. It kind of made me think of like a surf wagon. You know, like the
Yeah, totally.
California station wagons and stuff, which I felt was super appropriate
Oh,
for a rising ship.
Yeah.
We totally need to make a surfboard rack up top that just like, you can
Hell yeah! Right in here. Just put like 4 tiny surfboards right there.
or power boards.
Yeah,
sorry,
power boards, of course.
Boss buddy, our boards.
And what was I gonna say? Oh, and that wood is tintable. Like that's part of that thing, so you can change that color to be kind of whatever you want.
Yeah, but it looks so good as wood that I think I would leave it no matter
Yeah.
what I change the rest of the ship to.
And this material has access to all the other Risian. This ship has access to all the Risian materials, and this material has access to all the other Risian patterns, which are quite a few. So.
Yeah, I saw that.
Including one of my favorite features of our Rising ship since the Corvette. If you go move your camera down a bit, you can see the registry number, which is
Yeah.
like big
Yeah.
race
Giant
car
race
numbers on
number.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look
I
at
love
here,
that.
look at
Is
the
that
race number.
something you would carry over to the Tier 6 Risian luxury ship for next year, Thomas, if you had the chance?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, cruise ships generally don't have something
They
like
usually
that.
have like a giant name and then like a painted mascot of some kind, which
Right,
might be
right.
more difficult to
I-
do unless
I-
you
I-
really
Rising,
want to do that.
Rising
Figure out-
Princess. Yeah.
I still need to figure out like how fleet emblems work. That knowledge has kind of been lost to time, but we might be able to do something like that. Have a big, a big spot for your fleet logo or something.
If we could do it, and this is just me spitballing and saying if we could do this, as if I know how much work goes into this, but if you could do like you did with the Legendary Defiant and have like, 3 to 5 different cool options people could just swap
like
out.
nose
That would
arts?
be fun too.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be too bad. That wouldn't be too hard.
But anyway, that's for next year's ship, and we're talking about this year.
I thought you just meant like shark teeth. Just make the giant like
Oh, yeah. Well, this one.
I would like
would be a-
to. I'd like to add a minor caveat that our current plan is to do the T6 luxury next year, but that's a long ways away, and plans can change.
That's
that
true.
was also the plan for this year until we
Yeah,
can.
yeah, exactly.
Until I ruined everything, at least according to the people who really wanted that ship this year.
But hopefully we can go with something that they like and they're excited to get. It's been fun seeing this go through the various stages, and then when it got to the point of building the ship, I wanted to make sure that it delivered on the promise.
Yeah.
And that's
It turned out great.
we were proud of the outcome.
Yeah. Fleet Admiral Salaknar, what's the magic word? He's just into the chat. It's show us stats, buff, layout, console. And I love Salaknar, but ask nicely, man. All right, but that is what we should talk about next. So we've shown off the ship, we've shown off the beautiful design of it. Jeremy, do you have a map of choice you'd like to go to show off what she can do?
We can use the same old patrol
Okay.
if you like.
We will.
You're not in a. Are you in a geared version of the ship?
I am not.
Or are we
No,
just
I'm gonna turn on God mode.
You're gonna dev mode it a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Otherwise we'll.
Sounds good to me.
So to Argala we go.
That's the one. I was forgetting the name.
Spartan J wants to know when the summer event will come on the Xbox. The exact same day it does on PC, August 4th. You all get to play it at the same time, and you all get
About
access
2
to the
weeks,
ship at
right?
the same time. Yeah, it's about 2 weeks, I think.
So we have time to fix that warp out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Dan PMK says God mode, aka DPRM, which is a joke that Jeremy will get, and Spartan somewhere is seething at her monitor.
So while we load into the map, I can give you a little bit of an overview for where we came from with designing the ship. As Nick already mentioned, most of the recent Risian ships, actually all of the Risian ships, have been inspired by two things: nautical themes and speed. And so we decided this year that we did want to definitely make a science vessel, but we still wanted to stick with
Speed science.
Speed science. It is a fast science ship. I think possibly among the fastest of true science vessels. Now, we're not calling it a science vessel because we also wanted to lean into the Risian theme, but just so that folks who understand the terminology, it is a science ship. It has a secondary deflector, it has sensor analysis, subsystem targeting, all that stuff. But we call it the Risian Weather Control Vessel, which is the other side of the theme that we decided to lean into. There wasn't a lot of opportunity to go with actual Risian technology, which is honestly, as far as on-screen reference, it's not a rich place to pull from to begin with. But we did recall that Risa is a terraformed planet, essentially. They've controlled the geothermics and the weather systems of the planet to create a paradise where one shouldn't have existed previously. So we riffed on the weather control, and you'll see that in the console for certain.
Which one is the console for this ship, by the way?
It's summon Neutronic eddies.
Okay, so this one, the Neutronic eddy generator. I'm going to
Sounds
scoot
right.
this over a little more just to make sure people can see that. And tell us a little bit about the console and how it works.
So this is dual inspiration. So first was how do we do weather in space and what do we want it to look like and all that kind of stuff. Where we actually ended up landing was an episode of Enterprise for some visual reference and inspiration for an actual space hazard that is kind of weather, which is from an episode called Catwalk, an episode of Enterprise called Catwalk, where they have to hide in the catwalk of the nacelle to escape from neutronic eddies, which can just rip apart electrical systems on ships. So that's where this inspiration comes from. This console actually launches 4 gigantic Neutronic eddies, which are what's better than one space tornado in space? 4. So these are smaller than the fire tornado that some of you might know from the Bajor console, but still pretty significant. And they will wander around and mess with your enemies.
Got it. And tell
I
us
remember
about
having that. Sorry, just to interrupt.
No, please.
Reminded me of the call or the Teams call that we had, where we were trying to brainstorm weather in space, and I think Al and I and somebody else were all like frantically Googling various, space sounding or weather sounding space phenomena.
There were quite a few ideas.
There were a lot of ideas.
Settled on a different direction, but this is the one we chose for now.
So tell us a little bit about the trait as well.
I don't know anything about the trait. Let me look it up.
Okay. Well, I can read it off to you, and I bet you tell me. Sorry, let's just turn down the game volume.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I do remember this one because it's pretty straightforward, so I didn't have to dedicate some of my own brain space to it, because Spartan Jet created and implemented all this stuff, by the way, so doing her spectacular job as usual. But this trait is, it just makes your Bridge Officer Anomalies, which is a pretty well-known set of abilities that people should know, become the epicenter of an electrical storm, which fires out electrical shots. It actually can also help allies. There's a chance that it'll hit allies, and it boosts their power levels, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
If it hits an enemy, they take electrical damage. If it hits an ally, they get a power bonus.
While we were talking, the Benthans took out the the first wave. That's great. All right. So, keeping in mind, of course, that you did not design this ship, Jeremy, what kind of tactics should I be looking for to fly this guy?
It's I would say, based on what I know of it, which is secondhand, this ship will really excel with space magic.
I thought you said they were small. Oh my god!
Oh,
that's
they're
so
smaller.
Cool.
They're smaller than a fire tornado. They're still huge.
I was expecting little tiny tornadoes in space to pop up. No.
I mean,
so
they're only like 4K across. It's not that big.
So when you pop those guys, they appear behind you and they don't chase people. It looks like you have
they appear around you, a little bit randomized, and then they basically have a on purpose. Their behavior is a little bit unreliable. They'll switch between just wandering in space and finding somebody nearby to chase down, and they won't always do one or the other. They'll kind of switch between the two and just kind of fill up the area and be dangerous to fly through.
Oh, so they do actually move people around like a tornado too. They're not just
they'll periodically push
right
people
there.
around. Yep.
That is.
They'll throw 2x4s through your ship.
Neat. I cannot wait for the first time I bust that out and somebody goes, "What in the heck is that?"
Green saver.
There's going to be a time about 12 to 15 days into the summer event where you just see nothing but that in every single map, everywhere.
Somebody asked what the ship's seating was. I can show you that.
It does not have a primary specialization, but it does have a Lieutenant Commander Universal Pilot seat, leaning into that speed theme a little bit. And yeah, there's what you see there. The Commander
no
Science.
pilot maneuvers?
No pilot maneuvers, no.
Sadness.
Don't get greedy.
That's what I do.
I saw somebody ask about how big it was. It's a little bit bigger than the Escort. I didn't want it to be a giant ship, right? It's not the Dreadnought, right? So it's bigger than the Risian Escort, but still, I think I put it around 400-500 meters. Still smaller than like the Galaxy class.
That's about mid-range for a science vessel.
Yeah.
It's in that pocket.
We
small enough where the pilot stuff made sense too.
Yeah.
Someone in chat said the ship is the kind of thing that would like jump into atmosphere or descend into atmosphere over a Risian superstorm and just do some space magic and make it go away.
It just sucks it up and stores it for later.
Yeah.
Right. Where do you think those giant space tornadoes came from?
Yeah.
You have to fly around and charge up your powers.
If anyone was wondering why I keep flying away from combat for no reason, my wireless keyboard has decided it doesn't like me anymore. And will occasionally just go away. It was really funny in our Leeds meeting this morning, because at the end of the Leeds meeting, I had another window open because I was doing work, but it was one of those windows that you can't minimize, and so I they were like, okay, everybody leave, but Al and Scott, and we're gonna talk about some stuff coming up, and I was like, cool. I can't minimize the other window, so I can't actually leave. Do you want me to just take my headphones off?
The joys of remote working.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat pointed out that the ship from the top down kind of resembles the parasites from the conspiracy episode.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Hey, remember when we discovered all of Starfleet Command was parasites? Did we tell anyone about that?
It's fine.
Are those Borg weapons that's using?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I really like those.
There
I did also want to mention, I'm not sure if it was publicized yet, but there is a set bonus here. We have added the new console, the Neutronic eddies, to the pre-existing Risian set, and gotten you a new set bonus.
Which is apparently called Party Mode, chat noticed.
Yeah, man, I really wish that I would have gotten the item desk so you could show this off, because it's so much fun.
I can show this off. It's right here.
The actual activation? Do you have all the...
No, I don't have all of them, but I can show it. It's called Party Mode. What does it do?
It is a flat passive recharge speed bonus to all of your pilot maneuvers, as well as rock and roll. It makes them recharge faster.
Nice.
And then whenever you activate rock and roll, you launch fireworks.
It also throws a party amplifier in space.
Do they do anything, or are they just fireworks? That's
There's
amazing.
fireworks.
That's amazing.
Andre's gonna go nuts for this, right? He uses rock and roll already all the time.
He's gonna wanna use that like on every ship forever.
It is a 3-piece bonus, so you have to invest a bit, use all the Risian consoles, but it's fun. Fun
The
theme.
Incredible G says Andrew WK would be proud of you guys. That's the highest compliment we can get. Yeah, I think I want these tornadoes for my other ship.
Tornadoes.
It's just nice. It leaves this nice.
Somebody did request in the chat if you can hover over the console for
one
a
more
little
time.
bit.
Sure.
Yeah, so they can get another look at the tooltip.
Yep, we can do that. Look at it. It's so pretty.
It does do radiation damage, but its primary purpose is stripping shields.
Yeah,
off
it does
anybody
a ton
stuck
of shield
in.
damage. Jeez.
Also, that periodic repel will actually stop them from moving or acting very briefly.
I kind of want to use it on the board just to be like, see how you like it. So there you go. I hope somebody screenshotted it. Yep, and it is a universal console, so you will be able to use it on all of your ships. I think all the Risian consoles are universal, right?
I believe that is correct, yes.
All right, this power does not come with the ship, but I like it, so I'm going to use it.
What is that?
That's from the
yeah.
Discovery Bird of Prey, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, if you use this on a swarm of dudes with there's two other powers I combine it with. There's obviously cannon. It's not cannon fire at will, but it's the cannon shoot at everything one. And there's another console that makes you fire a cone of radiation energy in front of you over and over, and that just wipes out everything in that cone.
Might be in that cool power. But yeah.
Sounds like something I bought from the Low-Buy store, I think. Let's see. As we were just saying, TY MLRD1, this is a universal console, so you can put it on any ship you want.
We're really trying our best to make sure that that's supported on any new ship that we do. The only time that we want consoles still restricted to their own ships, generally speaking, is if they are animation-based and they really only work on that ship. There's a few exceptions to that, but not many.
Someone was asking to see the interior. I believe this will just have a generic interior bridge. We don't have a special Ryza bridge.
I would love to make a Ryza bridge at some point, but it's it's not in the cards for this year at least.
When you go to enter your bridge, you are actually just beamed back to Ryza.
It's just a standard Federation bridge, but we've replaced the floor with sand. We plant a couple palm trees, and the captain's chair is a hammock.
Obviously,
Animal
plastic
Crossing,
palm trees.
so-
Yeah. Hey, I built an airship in Animal Crossing. Y'all can build a bridge. Does the ship come with a pool? Yes. You can't go to it, but of course
Deck
it comes with a
23.
pool.
It's there.
I
It
told
helps
you, it's
with
the entire front of the
there.
ship is cetacean ops.
Yeah, station up.
Please don't pee in cetacean ops.
No matter what the dolphins tell you, do not pee in cetacean ops.
Yeah.
There are no jellyfish. They have not been stung.
That got weird.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
Right?
Listen, I have to get my fun somewhere.
So in case anybody watching doesn't actually know, the summer ship is free as long as you do the event. Also, I'm going to go ahead and spoil even if I don't have permission, but this year for the summer event, we will be allowing you to get your daily progress from any of the activities on the map.
Well, that actually happened for the first time last year, so that's not a spoiler, and it's great.
Oh, did we do it last year for summer?
We did.
I knew we did it for winter.
Because Jesse got it in at the... I thought it was summer. Maybe it was only winter, but yeah. I thought Jesse got it in at the last possible second for summer. Maybe he got it in at the last possible second for winter.
I mean, last year was March, right? So
Yeah, that's true. Last year was last week. No, it was only winter, Chad is telling me. Okay, so yeah, this year, for the first time. And I don't think that's in the summer blog, so I'll have to make sure I add it.
Yeah.
You will be able to complete any of the events
With one exception, I think the sandcastles don't work for daily progress because of a tech issue, but...
That's too bad. I really would like someone to fly around the USS. I earned this ship by making sandcastles.
The blog should be out like next week, right?
Yeah, next week. Lord Megatron says, so Zen buyout, low buy buyout as usual for summer event.
For event ship. Yep.
Yeah. Fleet Admiral Saliknar says, so about that carrier bundle. What carrier bundle? I don't know what you're talking about.
I've got a spoiler I can share for the carrier bundle, Mike.
What carrier bundle, Thomas? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, but I got a thing I can share.
What? I don't know how to ask. Hold on. I'm gonna mute us. I'm gonna mute us.
Are we mute?
All right. Tell me what you want to share.
So.
Yes, you can tell them about that.
Okay.
We're live again.
Okay. Hi, everybody. We're back. We had to do a really quick consultation. No, I was just remembering. Speaking of carriers, I remember one of the very first April Fool's things that I tried to do. I actually don't remember. Oh, I think I was told that I could post it in the forums, but we didn't actually make a news article out of it. But I took a picture of the USS Enterprise CVN-65, the aircraft carrier, and put that on our standard like C-Store space image. Like we were going to release a C-Store ship version of that carrier. So
now we're going to get to reuse it because we're actually doing that now, right?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. That's the carrier bundle.
Yep, that's the carrier bundle. Jeremy, a question for you from Fate Maker 80. Do the consoles from the Tier 5U Phoenix ships count towards the Risian consoles? They both say only Risian ships and not available on any ship.
I don't know offhand.
Okay.
I think so, but I'm afraid you can't quote me on that. I don't have the information handy.
Not a problem. We'll forgive you later after I write an angry 20-page letter on Twitter.
I guess I can answer by saying I think they should. And that if they don't currently, then maybe we can fix that when we have free time.
So Beard of Borg has asked a question, and they've asked it to Thomas, so only Thomas can answer this question, just to be clear.
Okay.
Thomas, when will the console from the Voth battleship be universal? Now, as a ship artist, I know that's completely under your control and something that you do. So, Thomas, please tell us the answer to that question.
Wait. You're giving Thomas the option of saying, like, tomorrow, and then I have to do it.
You're right.
Give Jeremy more tomorrow.
Give Jeremy more work.
Jeremy said it. Jeremy said tomorrow.
So Thomas doesn't do systems design.
Yeah,
he just makes the ship pretty.
But anyway, I did want to share this. That was the
Error's nice.
The carrier image that I was talking about.
Yeah. Pryforce says, please answer this question. But what question? I don't know.
Yes.
I think it was about the Voth console, which I don't actually know offhand either.
Yeah. And then Johnny Rocker says something is live right now, but I don't know what.
I don't know what either.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying playing this ship kind of absent-mindedly?
Yeah, I am. It's
scratching your itches.
It is a very fun ship. I'm not a big science ship person, so I imagine someone who A, knew how science ships worked, and B, had built the ship for that would be.
They require a lot of micro, right? Like you basically should always be using a bridge officer power.
Yeah, which I'm not doing. I've used like 2 this whole time, and the console.
Yep, that's the general concept behind a science ship. They're a little less, they have fewer weapon slots, so they try to make up for that with more space magic, and the secondary deflector is supposed to be leaned into quite a bit. So if you use a certain class of powers, get a secondary deflector that can proc off of those and add additional effects to make up for your missing weapon slot, that sort of thing, as well as sensor analysis, which can give you a very big boost to damage against a single target. So like this dreadnought you're fighting right now, would be handy against him.
Well, that's a cruiser, not a dreadnought, but yeah.
It's so small on my screen.
I know, it's really tiny.
You can click on it and make it your full. Like if you make the Discord call full screen and you click on the window I'm sharing, you will see.
No, I did that.
I know, but even then,
that shows us your dashboard.
Yeah, it shows us your whole thing.
Because you're seeing right. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I have the Twitch stream open so I can at least see it in full size, but delayed slightly.
Okay, so Ryukin OD says if you buy the if you buy the Risian Corvette in Mud's Market, you don't get the option to get the fleet version of the ship. I believe that's not intentional, right, Jeremy?
That sounds like an oversight.
Yeah.
I think that's something we can shore up.
Okay, cool. So we'll get looking at that.
I see what you did there.
Hey!
Sure. Somebody has been asking what's the initial layout of the ship, like weapons-wise. I'm not sure. We expect you to replace them, but it comes with 2 torpedoes and 4 beam weapons.
Yeah.
So please replace them. They're not great.
I
hope you have better stuff.
They're going to be white weapons, yeah.
Yep.
They're just phasers, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a 3-3 ship, if that's what you meant.
Yeah.
People are yelling at me to control my power level.
We should make a pop guns or something that are totally ineffective, but we use them as the placeholders that you're forced to replace them.
It's kind of what's in there.
Right, but if they look like real weapons, then people think that they're real weapons.
I flew with my starting weapons for a very long time.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I didn't, because I kept getting mission rewards that were weapons, so I ended up flying with rainbow weapons for a long time before somebody finally sat me down and shook me and said, "Build a ship better."
I saw a question in the chat about the hydrofoils. Do they change color depending on your manning shield or whatever? No, they're because they're tied to pretty complicated effects. Those colors are constant between the caustic material and then the energy emissions. Those are always going to be blue. Now, with a lot of the Risian ship materials, your engine trails will change based on which, if you use one of the older ship materials that have different glow and engine color options. So there's that. But this new material, this new Risian Type 3, only has the one engine color, just the teal. Because there are so many of those, I didn't want to add like 9 more. To that list, and then we'll have like 36 materials on the ship, and it just gets ridiculous. So
but you did say earlier that this ship can use all the ones that came with like the Corvette.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And so there's tons of customization.
Yeah, so they're like, each one of those glows count as different materials. So there are like 19 different materials on the ship. And mostly it's just changing the glow color, but I didn't want to turn 18 into 36 or whatever it was going to be.
Yeah. All right.
Or 24. It was just going to get too much. So
my keyboard has given up the ghost. I may have to switch the batteries again, but for the time being, so yeah, that's really cool. Any final thoughts on the ship, folks? While I wait to see what other questions we have coming in.
It's free. All you got to do is play.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We always make the coolest ships for free. I gotta say, like the Kittimer, this guy.
That's not true.
It was fun to work on something that was so different than a standard Starfleet or Klingon ship, and it was fun to be a part of something that was such a collaborative effort, starting from Nick's original design to the fan voting. A few people tuned in to actually watch me work on the ship for a little bit.
Yeah, that was cool to see too.
That was really fun.
Yeah, well, and then
Hector's
even
takeover of our Twitch channel was a lot of fun. I really want to do more of those because you're very soothing, Hector. I was just working with you on in the background all day. I was like, this is nice.
Yeah, it was fun to see. I hope everyone enjoyed getting a peek into the process at all those different stages. Which we can't necessarily always do that, but it was cool doing it this time for sure.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to do that on some things at least, because I mean, I was living vicariously through Thomas and Hector, watching you guys be able to share your work while you worked on it, because I can never do that. All of my stuff is story related, and so all of my stuff stays hidden forever. And it was really cool to be able to watch things that were actually being worked on in the game.
We want to do more of it. People seem to really like both of those things. We want to talk some other disciplines besides ship and concept into doing it as well. I know some of our UI artists have been interested, and I might be able to get a certain environment artist in a Diva hat to do some of those maybe. I would actually honestly love to do if we can get permission to show it off, I would love to get what you do, Jeremy, on a stream. I know you're kind of like, oh, it's just spreadsheets, but it would be really fun to dive into how the data works.
Yeah, and have you talk through it?
Yeah.
I mean, things may have changed. I don't know, but this was explored one time in the ancient past, and it was we didn't want to show off our proprietary engine.
I know that's been. I got our CEO's permission to do a stream once. We can figure this out later, but where Jesse actually built a mission on stream using our tools.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So hopefully we can do more, but I'll pursue it again because that's really fun.
Yeah.
Thomas, sorry to interrupt. Just was realizing I have now designed exactly one ship for Star Trek Online, and I have built exactly one ship for Star Trek Online. So I'm expecting my certificate of completion, honorary ship artist degree in the mail any moment.
No, we still have to have you actually stat out.
Do I? Oh, I have to do that too to be a ship artist.
Yep.
Okay.
That's new to me. I guess I'm not a artist.
None of you have certificates either.
I really, really, really now want Thomas to write out honorary ship artist in crayon and just mail it to Nick.
Come on.
Because I know he would frame that and put it on his wall.
I want to do it. I want it to be cool. Because there are a couple.
What I said was very cool, sir. Are you saying the drawings my daughter sends her grandparents aren't cool? Is that what you're saying, Thomas?
I mean, she's not my kid, so maybe I can just say. Never mind.
I know where you live. Pandalorian says, "Can you do build streams for players?" Yes, we were planning on doing more of those before everything, and we would like to do more in the future. As I mentioned last week, Jet's not quite set up to do her thing on stream yet, so we might do another Jet's build program again.
None of us are really set up to actually play in a way where we want to feature the gameplay over our live stream right now.
Yeah. Let's see.
Backgrounds.
Somebody wants us to create a degree for Starship Engineer for STO. I believe that would be a course that Jeremy and Thomas taught together, and I would very much like to sign up for that course. Well, actually, Jet and Thomas.
I believe that her knowledge and expertise in ship design is either has surpassed mine or is in the process of doing so. So yeah, I'll leave it up to her.
Oh, that's an interesting bug that I'd never heard before. Let me know if other people are healing this. Bad Splat says it's not related to the ship, but in the current event TFO, sometimes critters spawn for a second and then disappear around the satellites. And if you have your torp set to auto fire, you auto torp yourself.
This actually happens with most of our torpedo effects. If the target that it started firing towards disappears while it's in flight, it'll just come back.
Time anomalies, man. Time anomalies are a thing.
It's just trying to get back in the torpedo tube.
It's attacking related.
Yeah. The Incredible G.
Silly tachyons.
It's all because of anti-time.
You tachyonist.
The Incredible G.
You need to recalibrate your time crystals.
Yeah, there you go.
Turn them over.
My favorite thing that this team does is when we sit around and think of technobabble crap to throw on. So, like I was in some meeting once where Jet didn't have an idea for how to explain a ship power, and I think it was me, Christian, and her for like half an hour spitballing stupid Trek sounding things that she could use.
That happens probably more than people.
The best we ever did was the polarized lattice something tritanium. Polarized lattice optimized tritanium armor. It's a chef kiss, man. Like, so good.
It reminds me of those threads though of people, saying things when they couldn't think of a word, so they like invented some new combination of words to try and describe the thing, and somebody couldn't think of the word aquarium and they called it a liquid zoo.
Yes.
That's something I would say.
I've been trying to figure out a way to without being insulting do an April Fool's joke of the polarized Tetrion warhead that the PTW warhead that the more latinum you put in it, the more damage it does.
We also had the famous domino further back in time as well.
Yeah. I remember the domino.
I have no idea what domino stands for.
That's like the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What do they think that stands for? I think it means somebody really wanted our name to be S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Pendularian,
Acronyms.
I did see that. That was funny.
Yeah. I was going to respond to something a while back on here, but I forgot. I can't see who said it now. But someone was suggesting we go on DeviantArt for ideas for starships. We can't actually do that because that's their intellectual property. I mean, if we either have to pay them, which would be cool, but it's a long legal road. But if we stole their ship, like they could sue us and should sue us. So we're not going to do that.
Yeah, and honestly, we like. I want to be diplomatic about how I say this, but we have a really good idea of what we need to make, and we have a really good stable of people that can make it. So I think we're pretty good on that front. We're not
hurting for ideas.
Yeah. Well, and we have a really structured release schedule, and we only have the time to make so many ships. So it's not like we're just sitting around like waiting for like inspiration to strike or anything. We've got our ship releases planned out through like March of next year at the latest. So
somebody said I like this a lot. Mesotia said in the T6 Oberth Wen category of questions, they said it's been decades now. The game's only been active for 1 decade.
Greater than 1 decade.
And as I previously established on the
had it over for half that, right? Because T6 ships weren't a thing until Delta Rising.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Oh, which by the way, I listened to. There's a new podcast called the Starbase One podcast. It's a bunch of the really cool fans of Star Trek Online have gotten together to put, and it's because they previously had a podcast that stopped around Delta Rising. They've spent the first episode giving all of their thoughts about everything that they missed since their last podcast, and so it's actually a really, really interesting history lesson on the game and like how people were feeling. I enjoyed it a lot.
I'll have to check that out. I think I heard about it, but I haven't gotten a chance to listen yet.
Plug. I enjoyed it.
What was it called again?
Starbase One. Yep. Let's see. And of course, the answer to Tier 6 Oberth Wen is never, because that ship is ugly and terrible and shouldn't be.
Every time you ask, it gets pushed further and further down the line.
Hey,
Nick has missed my long-standing fight with Thomas about this. I just like to needle the Oberth fans. Of course, we're going to make one day.
It's not my favorite by any means, but I
actually like it. I think it is what it is. I mean, it's like not every ship needs to be a giant heavy battle cruiser, right? Like it's a little,
but they also don't need to be, the sled from Citizen Kane.
Lower deck ship, right? Everybody loves the Cerritos.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Everybody loves it.
It's the best starship ever, and the players love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please don't bring that up.
It's too late. I did it. All right. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for the stream. Thank you, chat, so much for giving us some amazing things to talk about. And as mentioned, this ship will be available on August 4th when the summer event goes live in Star Trek Online on all platforms. So PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 all at the same time. No waiting. And we'll have more cool ship news coming up soon and more cool game news coming up soon. But for now, live long and prosper, Qapla', Jolan True,
Bye-bye.
etc.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.
Wait, we forgot butts.
Oh, well, that's the other stream. You can do that on
okay.
Friday.
Never mind.
Yeah, Friday. Friday we got that. All right. Bye.